Welcome to the League of Nerds comic book segment number 178. I'm John Cooney here to talk to you about comics released the 10th of June 2015, beginning as usual with my first five, meaning these are the first 5 books I intend to read this week, and I'll give a little more depth on them, starting with at number 1, The Walking Dead number 142, with the title, A Gathering. Well, as usual, that's not much to go on, but once again, the Walking Dead website has a nice recap to bring us up to date. Spoiler warning now for the previous issues. Quote, Rick returns to Alexandria to find Dwight waiting for him. Dwight, it turns out, wants out as leader of the Saviors. It's not a role he ever wanted. Rick tells him that it's up to him to step down and hold an election. When he gets to the basement to check on Negan, Rick finds Negan's cell unlocked and Negan just sitting there. Is Negan trustworthy? At a town meeting, Eugene and Rosita announce that Rosita is pregnant. What they don't say is the baby isn't Eugene's. They'll all find out when the baby is born without a mullet, though. Rick chastises Olivia for leaving the cell unlocked. With the fair about to start, Rick tells Andrea that keeping Negan alive proves to everyone that civilization has returned, but that killing him would be the end of everything they've built. Meanwhile, at the hilltop, Maggie hangs Gregory. Close quote. The site went on to list 5 fan questions for the forthcoming issue. Number 1, almost a year of hype and the Alexandria Fair is finally here. Is it going to be a success, or will underlying conflicts ruin the event? Number 2, is Negan finished trying to be a good guy? Number 3, what reaction will Maggie and the Hilltop get for publicly hanging Gregory? Number 4, is Dwight stepping down as leader of the Saviors really a good idea? Is there any other candidate who can work with the other fractions? And number 5, will we find out who impregnated Rosita? Will he be at the fair? Number 2, we've got Saga number 29, with a similar short solicit. The Last Revolution makes their move. Series writer Brian K. Vaughan recently shared the different approaches he's had to story lengths. Quote, when I pitched Why the Last Man to Vertigo, I was young and poor and just wanted some job stability, so I suggested that the series should last 5 years. Ironically, by the time the series reached that point, Vertigo really wanted me to make it longer, but Pia Guerra and I both decided the 5 years had been just right, the exact length of time it took for York to transform from the last boy on Earth to the last man. But now that I'm old and a little more stable, I can afford to let the story dictate the scope up front. The Private Eye was 10 chapters because that just felt right for a self-contained mystery about the nature of privacy. Saga is really a story about my children and watching them grow up, so I kind of hope it never ends. Close quote. Then, asked about his family's impact on writing, he replied, quote, I'll just say that young children have made it much harder to find the time to write and much easier to find things to write about. Close quote. At number 3, we have Batman number 41. The all-new Batman makes his debut. Who is he and what happens next? Find out here as a new era begins in Gotham City. Okay, I don't consider it a spoiler since it was revealed in last month's Free Comic Book Day Divergence, but I'm about to discuss the new Batman identity, so be warned. Series writer Scott Snyder explained the transition of Jim Gordon taking on the role. Quote, the goal is to take full advantage of the fact that we're almost on vacation from regular Batman with this one and explore every nook and cranny of this strange and exotic territory that we're in, because eventually we all know we'll go back home. That's just how it works. So the first issue really establishes how Gordon becomes Batman. The second one is really about not only the kind of Batman he has to be, but it throws a tremendous twist into the whole story. And then the third one is almost like we introduce a new villain and you see how big the story is going to be in a certain way. And then the fourth issue, number 44, you see a case actually from Bruce in the past that informs the villain in the present. So we're really all over the place with this one, but I want the feel to be celebratory and fun. I want it to feel like, after the darkness of Endgame and the real twisted psychology of the Joker, to try something brighter and more colorful here. But at the end of the day, the thing we're kind of Trojan horsing in, I think, is that it's really one big noirish mystery that has to do with the question that Gordon asks himself, which is, can Batman be part of the system? Can he work better this way? Close quote. At number 4, we have Detective Comics number 41. Following the events of Endgame, get ready to ride with the GCPD in a whole new city. Harvey Bullock is leading a Bat task force, but what are his duties and can he be trusted? And what kind of welcome awaits his new partner, Renee Matoya? After recently launching some creator-owned work through Image Comics, series co-writer Brian Buccellato discussed the differences in his work with DC. Quote, it's not to discount what I do for DC because that has its own advantages. You're able to reach a larger audience of people. You're able to create a persona and a library of work, and you get a steady paycheck. So there's a lot of great things about it. And you get to work on characters like Batman, Who wouldn't want to do that? It's sort of a no-brainer, close quote. At number 5, we've got Ultimate End number 2 of 5, the last Ultimate story by the groundbreaking universe's founding fathers. The countdown has begun, an end of an era. Who will survive? Series writer Brian Michael Bendis described what's going on in the book. Quote, in Ultimate End's pocket of Secret Wars, what has happened is that the regular Marvel Universe and the Ultimate Marvel Universe have merged on top of each other. The two universes are forced to figure out how to live together, and it's not going well. It's absolute madness. We're getting the universes to examine each other from a unique point of view, and I think it'll be surprising to people who think Ultimate End is just the Ultimate Universe running around going, oh my god, it's over, but that's not what it is. Close quote. Rounding out the top 10 at number 6, we have Secret Wars 2099, number 2 of 5. Secret Wars continues as the Avengers of the year 2099 come face to face with the tremendous beast who's no stranger to the team. Who could it be? We'll give you a hint. You won't like him when he's angry. At number 7, we have Inferno number 2. As if Colossus's Inferno raid wasn't impossible enough, now his skeleton crew, X-Men, are a team divided, with Boom Boom gut stuck and bleeding out, Nightcrawler caught in Darkchild's Hellfire web, and Domino's fate in the hands of the Goblin Queen Madeline Pryor. Find out if our big metal mutant can pull his team's bacon from the flames and get this suicide mission back on track as X-Men vs. Hell on Earth action continues. At number 8, we've got Chrononauts number 4 of 4, miniseries conclusion. Captured by enemies and robbed of their ability to time travel, Danny and Quinn have created the biggest mess the space-time continuum has ever seen. Now it's up to them to defeat the bad guys, fix past wrongs, and escape the wrath of their bosses. The finale to this sci-fi buddy adventure features more breathtaking Sean Murphy art, with more soldiers, more dinosaurs, and a conclusion to leave you clamoring for a sequel. At number 9, we have Spider-Gwen number 5. Still haunted by the death of her world's young Peter Parker, Gwen Stacy pays a visit to the two people who knew him best. And at number 10, we have Spider-Verse number 2. Spider-Gwen is on Battleworld and face-to-face with Norman Osborn. This can't end well, but what's going on with the rest of the Web Warriors? For the best of the rest from DC Comics, we've got All-Star Section 8, number 1 of 6. The greatest superheroes of all time, unseen since the end of the hit series Hitman, have returned to the greatest superhero story ever told. Befuddled hero Six-Pack returns to Gotham City, desperate to rebuild the all-star team known as Section 8 in the face of the deadly threat. He gathers old friends Bueno Excelente, Baitor, and the seemingly reborn Dog Welder, along with some new faces, but he still needs that elusive 8th member, and that's when the Dark Knight detective gets an offer he can't refuse in part 1 of this unforgettable 6-issue miniseries. Next, we have Catwoman number 41. She's still Gotham's queen of crime, but now, in order to work all the angles, Selena Kyle is back as Catwoman. We've also got Constantine the Hellblazer number 1. The dark adventures of DC's foremost occult detective continue in this all-new series as he investigates the cruelest case he's ever come across, his own dark history. Next, we have FBP Federal Bureau of Physics number 21. Everyone is scrambling in different directions to save the universe, which is really complicated when you add the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensions to the map. We've also got Gotham Academy number 7. Special guest student Damian Wayne drops by the academy, and he's not pleased to meet his new classmates. Next, we have Suicide Squad number 9. An unstable, violent group has broken away from the League of Assassins. Only the Suicide Squad stands a chance of stopping them if they're willing to get even more unstable and violent. We've also got Red Hood Arsenal number 1. These brothers in arms face off against incredible odds while burning their way through the underbelly of the DC universe, and it's only a matter of time until they get gunned down in return. And we've got Starfire number 1. From the writers of the outrageous smash hit Harley Quinn comes former outlaw Starfire in her all-new ongoing series. She's an alien warrior princess trying to find peace on Earth, and she'll fight anyone and anything to get it. From Marvel Comics, we've got 1602 Witch Hunter Angela number 1. In the altered realms of Battleworld, Angela and Sarah are witch hunters, the scourge of the King James England 1602. In a land beset by magic and monstrosity, they seek a new and seductive evil, not witch breed, but deal-making Faustians, who bargain with ancient creatures for unnatural power. Moral ambiguity? Fancy illusions? Marguerite making the most of her English degree? Try Witch Hunter Angela number 1. Next, we have Captain America and the Mighty Avengers number 9. In Earth's final hours, the Mighty Avengers come together one last time, but in the face of the end of everything, what help can they give? guest starring the latest and perhaps the greatest mighty Avenger, you. We've also got Captain Marvel and the Carol Corps #1, a 10 hut. These ladies are the best of the best and will take you down if you threaten their captain. Welcome to Hollow Field, where being a part of the elite Carol Corps requires guts, guile, and a whole lot of grit. So put on your uniform and get ready for a high-flying Captain Marvel series years in the making. Next we've got Inhumans, Attilan Rising #2. What is the Quiet Room? There's a rebellion brewing on Battleworld and it's centered around a mysterious silent man. Medusa will stop at nothing until the rebellion is squashed. We've also got Marvel Zombies #1. Elsa Bloodstone is stationed on the Shield, burdened with the Sisyphean task of keeping the zombie hordes from rampaging through Battleworld. In those moments where she's not enwrapped in the throes of battle, she meditates on her deceased father, how everything he taught her gave her the means to fight the zombies, but all the love he didn't give her is what motivated the self-destructive actions that landed her on the wall in the first place. But when she sees a human child caught in the middle of the zombieverse, she'll muster every ounce of determination she has to throw herself into the zombie horde to rescue the girl. And once Elsa finds her, she's going to have to fight her way back out. Next we have Secret Wars Journal #2 of 5. It's Kraven's last hunt in Killville, and detectives Misty Knight and Paladin are the hunted. Lord Sinister's secret weapon is his top-shelf chef, Matt Murdock. But what happens when Sinister comes between Murdock and his love, rare food scout Collectra? The best Secret Wars anthology continues. You heard us, Secret Wars Battleworld. We've also got Silk #5. It's the spider team-up of the century to take down the Black Cat. Silk and Spider-Man together in one book. No, not together. Calm down. Next we have Silver Surfer #12, The New Life of Norrin Radd. No surfboard, no trace of the power cosmic, no hint of silver. It's an all-new life for Norrin Radd on an all-new world, and heralding a strange new chapter in Don Greenwood's story as well. And we've got Weirdworld #1. Welcome to the wildest, most dangerous new corner of the Marvel Universe. Welcome to Weirdworld, a world of swords and sorcery and strange, perverted science, a world where one barbarian walks alone on a dark and savage quest through all things weird and fantastic from throughout Marvel history. His name is Archon, a lost man in a lost world. Follow him if you dare. From Boom Studios, we have Bill and Ted's Most Triumphant Return #4 of 6. When Bill and Ted return to present-day 1991 San Dimas, they must come face-to-face with the most non-heinous revelation. Their timeline is no more. By rufusing a young Dr. Anomalos, they have inadvertently changed the course of history. The Wild Stallions are no more. There's only Denomalos. Featuring a short by Curtis Wybe and Matt Rupert, featuring little middle school Bill and Ted's first visit from the gods of rock. From Dark Horse Comics, we've got Rebels #3. Following the events on Lake Champlain, Seth's long walk home is juxtaposed with a similar trial from his youth, when an unforeseen accident pitted a young Seth against both the harsh elements and his father's harsher expectations. From Image Comics, we've got Savage Dragon #204, Malcolm Dragon vs. Angel Dragon. It's come to this as Malcolm and Angel have it out in what may be our strangest issue yet. And we've got Starve #1, Utensils Down, Hands Up, Welcome to Starve. Once the world's most famous chef, Gavin Crookshank's been in a self-imposed exile for years. His little foodie television program has since evolved into Starve, an arena sport that pits chef against chef for the pleasure of their super-rich patrons. It's a stain on a once noble profession, and Chef Gavin is ready to go to war to stop it. Two things stand in his way: his arch-rival Roman Algiers and his adult daughter Angie, who probably just wants her dad back and acting normal. Whip-smart world building and a creative dream team come together for a brand new monthly series. From Valiant Entertainment, we've got Unity #19, all new arc, all new villain, Exo Manowar returns, and the Warmonger rises. Unity has faced every evil that's come at them and lived, but can they survive humankind's darkest menace? When a mysterious new threat rears its head, the Eternal Warrior remembers encountering it in World War II and barely making it out alive. Now he must marshal Exo Manowar, Livewire, and Injak if Unity has any hope of defeating the Warmonger. And we've got Exo Manowar 25th Anniversary Special #1. New York Times bestselling writer Robert Venditti and red-hot artist Kafu celebrate 25 years of Valiant with an all-new introduction to Valiant's #1 hero, the unstoppable Exo Manowar. The sentient Exo Manowar armor is the most powerful weapon in the universe, but long before the armor fell into the hands of Eric of Dacia, it had a history of its own. Now, for the first time, join us as we uncover the secrets behind one of the most unique artifacts in the history of comics and dive deeper into the Manowar mythology in an all-new special standalone story. Out in trades this week, we've got the Wake trade paperback. The entire 10-issue Eisner Award-nominated series is collected in one volume. When marine biologist Lee Archer is approached by the Department of Homeland Security for help with a new threat, she declines but quickly learns they won't take no for an answer. Soon she's plunged into the depths of the Arctic Circle to a secret underwater oil rig filled with roughnecks and scientists on the brink of an incredible discovery. But when things go horribly wrong, this scientific safe haven will turn into a house of horrors at the bottom of the ocean. And we've got Miles Morales Ultimate Spider-Man Volume 2 Revelations trade paperback. Miles Morales' life has been turned upside down on every conceivable level. New villains are coming out of the woodwork, but more important, Miles has a girlfriend. Her name is Katie Bishop, but she has a secret, and it's bad news for Spider-Man. Miles makes a life-changing decision and discovers a mind-blowing truth. Who was his father? What is the secret of Miles' legacy? And will the Ultimate Spider-Man become an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.? When Miles confronts his family's past and his terrifying future and discovers a new spider power, the man behind the mysteries of the human fly's plans reveals himself. As Dr. Doom steps from the shadows, Miles gathers the Ultimates, but no matter what happens next, this might be the end of the road for Miles Morales. Collects Miles Morales Ultimate Spider-Man 6-12. Okay, so that's just a few of my favorite books out this week. There's still plenty of others available, and I broke out all the Marvel titles this week in their own video, as well as a separate video for all of DC, and even a video with the top independent publishers. You can find them all on my YouTube channel at he'sgotissues.com. And we'll also have links up on the leagueofnerds.com, our Facebook page, so be sure to like us there too. And of course, you can follow everything I'm reading on Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr, Twitter, and Instagram. You can find links to everything in the About section at he'sgotissues.com. And a reminder that both He's Got Issues and the League of Nerds are proud members of the Comics Podcast Network. So until next week, I'm John Cooney, and I've got issues.